Hey, are you burned out at work, but you're afraid to tell your boss? By the end of this video, you'll know just what to say to start this conversation. Here's a few steps that you can follow. The first one is identify specifically what is draining you. This is important because if you want to talk about burnout and have a real conversation, you can't just go in and say, I'm burned out, I gotta quit, or I gotta change. You've got to really identify what it is that is burning you out. Because you could be transferred to maybe a different position, but your tasks are so much the same that nothing changes for you. So discover specifically what it is that's draining you. Are there certain tasks? Are there things that you're doing in the daily grind of your existence that just make it intolerable for you? You can no longer bear it. I have a friend who works at Facebook, and what they do is they do assessments, I think quarterly, on their people. It might even be more than that, like once every month. And they evaluate if they are spending a minimum of 80% of their time doing things they enjoy at work. If they drop below the 80% mark, Facebook will make adjustments to get you back into a space where you only spend 20% of your time doing those mundane tasks we all have to do. It's the nature of life, but not more than that to avoid burnout for their employees. That's a rare thing. That's why people want to work for Facebook. But if you don't know what's draining you, how are you going to ask for help? Take the time to ferret that out. Is it your boss? Is it a specific task? Is it another employee that you have to work with? What it is, that real thing. Identifying it helps you then take action. Once you have identified, you can then, number two, find a solution to overcome the issue you're facing. If it's your boss, well, your solution, you don't even need to talk to him. You just got to get out of there. If it's something more like a task that you could offload onto somebody else, or you have way too much workload, you need to disperse some of it so you can lighten it, all of these things can be addressed, and you can look at them and really identify them so you have a very good grip on what you believe will help lighten your burden. Then, number three, put yourself in your boss's shoes. If you go to your boss hoping to have an empathetic response where he or she will see you and understand that you're struggling and want to preserve you and maintain you, consider the stressors that are placed on your boss and the things that they may be protecting you from. The stressors that they're carrying that they keep from hitting you. And wonder what that might be so that when you are talking about changing and making a difference in your workload, or even maybe moving to another department that would serve you better, you are being compassionate to the stress that is causing that person. That will make you a team. Then instead of working in conflict with each other, them trying to maintain the status quo and keep you in your box, and you trying to break out of the box and find some relief, you can look at this as a team and come up with better solutions than what you have even decided on your own. That's the best way to go about it. And then if you've got to that point, the step four is decide before you have the conversation, will this conversation with my boss change anything? Now, don't back away out of fear because you don't know if it will or not. If you don't know, there's a chance. So take a chance and have that conversation. The worst thing that can happen is you get fired and you got to find a new job. And guess what? You were burned out anyway, so you needed a new job. That's the worst thing that happens, is a good kick in the butt so that you can go out and find something better that will inspire you and lift you and let you go home at the end of the day full of energy so you can meet your loved ones as you want to. Full of energy, happy, and excited about life versus completely depleted, deflated, and just wanting to disappear into the TV. If, in fact, you know your boss is that person that will not hear you, maybe they're the problem, just look for a position that you can transfer to outside. You don't have to talk to them, but I would suggest that that be the rarity in almost every circumstance. You facing this conversation, this difficult conversation, if you prepare in the way that I have said in those first 3 steps and come to your boss with empathy, clear identification of what it is you need to overcome, and then the ability to say, here's some things that I think would alleviate this stress, that boss will most likely be super happy that you have come not only with an identified problem, but a plan to address it. And they will work with you. And if they aren't going to do that, well, what a wonderful sign that you're with the wrong person. It's great. Move on. So I want to tell you about something that happened to me. I had worked for a number of companies over the years. I've had many, many jobs. And I realized that honestly, it got to the point that HR job descriptions, when I would apply for a job, like half the crap that they write on these lists of what your job description were, just reading broke my heart. I would look at it and be like, I like half of this job or a quarter of this job, and the rest of it, I don't want to apply. And so I decided to quit applying for jobs. I started to go to companies and tell them what I would do for them. I would walk in and say, have an interview for a job that, sounded appealing, but it wasn't exactly what I felt was the best usage of my talents. And I would interview. If they liked me, then I'd say, look, I'm interested in this job, but let me tell you what I can do and what I think will serve you best based on my skill set. And you know what's amazing? I get to write my own job description. I did this. I was thinking, this is crazy. I'm never going to get this job. And I was interviewing with these guys, and we were in negotiations trying to discover, what it is they want. And they kept coming up with descriptions, and finally I said, look, let me write a description of what I will do for you. And we've already figured out what the pay is. All that stuff is good, but I want to tell you what I'll deliver. And I wrote that down, and I sent it in, and it was signed off and sealed and delivered. And I was astonished that I got to work in the space of my genius without any pushback at all. What an opportunity. Changed my whole perspective. I have never had anyone write me a job description from that moment on. It was in 2016, so not that long ago. I did this for the first time, and I loved it. It's great. Write your own job description. Find out what it is you want to do. And when you start to have that, when you can start to come to your boss and say, hey, this is where I think I can serve you best, considering the importance of the organization, what the organization needs to achieve to be successful, considering what does your boss need in order to shine from you. And when you have those 2 things down, and then you look at your talents and the things you love to do, if they align with the development of the organization and the improvement of the boss's situation, man, you got yourself on the ropes. And the boss that gets this stuff is going to want this if they can see that you have the talent to deliver what you're promising them. I suggest that, honestly, writing your own job description and having an interview like that is the best way to go if you can manage that. But if you can't at this time, always be aware of what you're looking at within yourself. Always be understanding when you start to feel that drain and that energy suck, so that when you get home at the end of the day, you don't even want to go in the house and have to face your wife and kids because you don't have the energy. If that's the way you are, or if you're a wife coming home and you've got to face, the world that you have to face when you walk in that door, and it seems overwhelming because of your day at work, look at what it is that's causing that. This is not normal. This is not normal for somebody that wants to be healthy, is what I should say. It is sadly normal for most of us in the daily grind of work in North America. We are not making good use of people's talents. Companies just kind of clunk you into that space and often neglect you. Fight for the right to not be burned out and to live in a space of your genius where you get to serve those around you and have an impact using your talents. That's a powerful place to work from. It's exciting. It will energize you. It'll pull you out of burnout. And then you got to win. So if this is something you're facing, follow these steps. I think it's a really, really courageous thing to do. It can be nerve-wracking to think about and try to overcome, but if you do it, it changes the trajectory of your life. It'll change how you move. It'll change how people approach you. And it might even get you into spaces you never thought you could go. If you like this video, it's great. Stick around. I got another one coming up. How to overcome fear of your boss. You may want to consider this before you have a conversation about your burnout. This will help you. Like, subscribe, follow. If you're facing burnout, I'd love to hear anything that you have to say about what you've done to overcome it or what you're struggling with. And let's have a conversation. Thanks for joining me. I'm James Burnham.